I'm about to give you a foolproof way that you can absolutely make time for language learning. Better yet, by the time we hit the 1 minute mark of this video, you'll be able to tangibly see how much time you could be dedicating to language learning. Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Amina. I am a language learning enthusiast. I love the idea of learning languages. I've dabbled in a lot of different languages, not fluent in many, but I've had interest in learning languages for the longest time, and I've been seriously learning languages for the past 7 years. So I have a lot of successes, failures, and a lot of things that I've learned along the way that I like to share with you in videos like these. So for today, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to make time for language learning in your busy schedule where you can't seem to find time in your day. So I'm not even gonna waste your time. We're just gonna go right into the most important thing, the thing that I feel like, not just with language learning, but in any aspect of your life, if you say you don't have enough time, you're a liar. So first things first, grab your phone, go to settings, and click on your screen time. There you go. Everything you see there, that is how much time you spend on your phone that you could be dedicating to language learning. Like, that is your time. I literally have just shown you and given you your time. You're welcome. I feel like with language learning, with any hobby, passion that you have, it seems like we cannot find enough time in our day, but I promise you guys, there is enough time. I feel like looking at your screen time is the best way to start, because I feel like we don't realize how much time we spend on our phones. I could probably hear people saying like, okay, well, I use my phone sporadically throughout the day. I don't have an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to just sit down and learn languages. But that's not the point, baby. Like, you don't need to sit down with a book, with flashcards or whatever. And that's the first thing we probably should discuss. We need to rethink what it means to learn a language. It does not need to look like you sitting at a desk with a notebook, with a textbook doing exercises. That's just not how people authentically learn languages. That's not how babies learn languages. So if you cannot dedicate an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours at a single go, it doesn't matter. If we have truly busy schedules, we have to find time, guys. Like, that's the whole thing. We need to find time in our busy schedule, between tasks, on lunch breaks, wherever we can, to implement the things that we actually care about. And I feel like in order to make language learning fit into your busy schedules, we just need to make it accessible. First things first, going back to our phones, what are the first things that you see on your screen time? Is it Instagram? Is it YouTube? Is it TikTok? Like, what are those things? And honestly, the good news is you don't even have to like give up those things. You don't have to be like, okay, I have to throw away social media and now I have to just, you know, carry my exercises and lessons around with me everywhere I go. You could do that, but I think the best way to go about that is everything that you see there, your Instagram, your YouTube, your TikTok, do it in your target language. You don't have to go on a social media cleanse if that's not what you're feeling. Just consume your content in your target language. Can you imagine how many hours do you see? Is it 3, 4 hours a day on TikTok? That's literally hours a day that you could be consuming language content, memes in that language, reels in that language. Like, you could be doing the same thing you're doing, but just do it in another language. And if that's the only thing you take away from this video, then I'll be a happy girl, because guys, we need to stop making excuses. We make time for what we want to make time for. If you just don't have language learning as a top priority, then just tell me that. Just say that. Don't come and start making excuses about, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for this. Yes, you do have time. And this is a reminder, if he has not texted you back, if she has not texted you back, she just doesn't like you. She's just not into you. He's just not into you. That's just the way it is. Very off topic, but honestly the same thing. Everyone has time. Everyone has their phone. Everyone can communicate. Everyone does what they want to do. So if this is a reminder that they're not into you, then this is a reminder that they're not into you, because everyone has time. Unless your screen time is 0, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the excuses. And just to even lay it on even thicker, the fact that you're out here watching this video, listening to little old me, just proves how much time you have. Let me know how you found this video. Did you type it in? Did this just show up on your recommended? Are you subscribed? No matter how you found me, you have time to click and watch this video and hear me rant and tell you the hard truth. So you could have been using this time to practice your language. So we've just already established that you're not that busy. Let's just be freaking real. Y'all aren't busy. We make excuses. Just say what it is that you actually mean. Because I try my best, at least with language learning. I'm not gonna say I don't have time for it. I just don't make time for it. It's not a priority right now. I have other things to do, and there's no shame in that. Things happen. I truly don't have much sympathy, unless you're probably like a parent, because I get it, kids be trying it, kids be a lot. But even then, I still believe you can make time for language learning, because again, what is your screen time with them kids? If it's still over 0 minutes, you could be using that for languages. So we've got that covered. You have time. We've seen the evidence. Moving forward now, we just need to see how we can implement that into our busy schedules and all that stuff. We've got the social media. Start following accounts, start subscribing to channels, start doing whatever you can to consume content in that target language. Try to incorporate the language into your day-to-day life. We don't have to spend time making flashcards, studying, acting like we're in school, because that's just not necessary. Like, if you want to do that, you can do that, and if it works for you, it works for you. But if right now in this moment of time you can't dedicate 3 hours straight to something, then you gotta make do with what you can make do with. Honestly, I feel like we need to get rid of the perfectionism. Think that, like, if we're not gonna do it the way we want it to be done, then we're just not gonna do it at all. Like, the heck, like, do it anyways. Even if it's a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. If you really want to be fluent, then you will try and you will find ways to learn a language. If you don't want to be fluent, then just tell me you don't want to be fluent, because we're not gonna have excuses out here, because you have time. You're still watching my video. Okay, I'm probably beating a dead horse, but let's be for real. If you're watching this video, you have time. Another thing that I think is really cool is to make friends in your target language. I really like apps like Tandem and Hello Talk, because you can just talk to other people that are trying to learn your native language, and it's like a language exchange. They're telling you things about the language you want to learn, and they're learning the language you already know. So I think it's really cool to actually try to befriend these people, because then you're just out here texting in your target language, having calls in your target language. Like, it's just gonna be part of your day-to-day, and I feel like that is the simplest way to make language learning as easy as possible. Incorporating it into your day as much as possible. Change your phone in your target language, consume content in your target language, make friends in your target language. Do things that don't require a lot of thinking, honestly. Like, if life really be that busy, make it easy for you. You don't have to do hours of deep work in order to learn a language. But if you really want to, digitalize your notes. Have it on a Google Doc, have it on a Notion page, download the apps. And so when you're waiting in line for something, if you have a moment of your time, review the things you've already learned. I feel like with language learning, it's so important to revise the things you've already learned. I think that sometimes we think we need to just keep going and learning, but take the time to go back to your weaknesses. What are the vocab words that you struggle with? What are the grammar tenses that you struggle with? Try to practice the things that you already have. So then you can structure your weeks and your days like, okay, if I do have an hour of uninterrupted time, I can make a vocab list, flashcards, whatever. And so that when I'm busy, I can just revise it. When I'm waiting in line, when I'm on the bus, when I'm doing whatever, you already have the resources at the tips of your fingers. Also, download language learning apps. I'm gonna go ahead and link in the card above and in the description my first video that I ever made about the best language learning apps and resources that you can download on your phone and just use whenever you have those little moments of time. And different apps are better than others. I definitely need to make an updated video of that because apps change over time. But if you have apps on your phone, use them. Use it in your spare time. It's not gonna make you fluent automatically, but it's a resource, and that's what we need. We just need things to help supplement with our studying and with our learning when we're busy. Another thing that I think is important, try thinking to yourself in your target language. Try writing your to-do list for the day in your target language. Do anything that you typically do in your native language, but then do it in your target language. Like, it's again helping you with reinforcing what you learn, making it part of your day-to-day life. I love incorporating whatever language I'm learning into my day-to-day life because it makes it seem real to me. It makes it seem more tangible because I don't always talk to people in different languages in my day-to-day, but if I can't do that, then I can talk to myself in my day-to-day. Let me make my to-do list in it. Let me read a book in it. Let me consume my news in it. Let me consume my media in it. Even if the language is just for me, well, hopefully it's not just for you because we gotta talk to people, but even in a day where I'm not really talking to other people, I can still incorporate it into my day-to-day. And something that I think is really cool as well, dang, I'm rambling. But something that I think is really cool is that when we are really busy and are in a tight spot in terms of how much time we can have, that can actually be a really cool tool for us because then we have to get creative. And so when we do things like our notes or journal in a language, read a recipe in that language, these are things that are actively part of our day-to-day lives. I feel like in the school system, when I was learning Spanish in school, they would throw the most random vocabulary at me. like things that have nothing to do with me or aren't relevant to me at that time. Like I remember we had a quiz about like skiing equipment that I don't even know in English, or words like retirement fund and 401k. I didn't even know what a 401k was back then in English. So then why was I learning about the word was in Spanish? You know what I mean? And I feel like now I'm so aware of what words I use in English to help me learn my target languages, because I'm not gonna be out here learning things that I don't care about. There's so many words in English that I don't even know. Like it's very common for me, especially when I'm reading books. I'm constantly Googling and defining words because I don't use it in my day-to-day. That doesn't mean I'm not fluent in English. It just means I don't know what I don't know. If you can incorporate the language that you want to learn in your day-to-day, you're gonna be like, wait, what's the word for this thing? And then you're gonna Google what that word is, and then there you go. You know that you're gonna actually use it and it's gonna be relevant for you. But if you're just sitting here opening a textbook and the next lesson is about business terminology, medical terminology, and you don't even give a damn about either in your native language, then what's the point of learning it? We have to treat our time very preciously. And so when we have a busy schedule, we're only gonna be trying to learn what is of the utmost importance and what we use the day-to-day. What I use every day is gonna be different than you and the next guy, but it doesn't really matter because fluency looks different to other people. And even to this day, like I'm out here asking my mom questions about things that I don't know, you know what I mean? And like we don't have to try to aim for knowledge on every topic if you don't even know how to articulate yourself like that in your native language. And so then whenever you do have a conversation and make friends in your target language, then you have a good versatile list of vocab words and sentences and structures that you can actually talk about, and it just feels more normal. I realize like whenever I try to talk to myself and practice learning a language, like some topics I can talk a lot about, right? But then other topics I'm just like, ooh, I don't know anything. And it's discouraging because I'm like, shoot, like I felt like I was making so much progress, but it was like my brain tricking me, you know? Like it's not that I lost knowledge or I lost my role or whatever. It's just that I practiced so much talking about this one topic and I haven't spent enough time maybe doing that. But I feel like when we are in that box and we just have to be very, very mindful of what we want to learn, then it gets so narrowed down to what we do on the day-to-day. And that's what's really important, honestly. We don't have to become a new person when we're learning a new language. Anyways, I think I rambled enough. I was very passionate about this topic just because I don't like excuses, and everyone has those moments. And honestly, there's been times where I probably told someone, hey, I don't have time for that. And what I'm really saying is that I just don't want to do it now. I got other things I'm worried about. Just be honest with yourself. If language learning is not of utmost importance, if it's not on the top of your to-do list, then it's not at the top of your to-do list. But if it is, now you have the tools. Now you know what you can do to help you with your journey and finding time for language learning, because it can be hard, but as long as we are flexible, then there's always going to be time. It might not be as structured. Your day might be a little choppy. It might be kind of all over the place, but it doesn't matter because learning is learning, progress is progress, and you'll be way better off just squeezing 10, 15, 20 minutes a day learning something than if you're just like, hey, if I can't dedicate 2 hours to it, then I'm not going to do it at all. Hopefully that can be something that you implement in many areas of your life, and we can just think about time a little bit differently. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe. I haven't been making a lot of language learning videos, but I want to continue doing that because this is the whole reason why I started this channel. So definitely want to continue doing it. If you made it this far, leave the world emoji in the comments so I know that you made it this far. If you have any questions about me, my language learning journey, or anything like that, you can leave it in the comments down below, or any questions about anything, because I'm filming a 1K subscriber Q&A. So you can leave that down below and I'll be sure to answer that. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!